6 people who've all got the experience, all meet the criteria, they all got the same sort of temperament and skills. People tend to use very similar answers, where you want to give something a little bit different. You want to have like a unique selling point, something really different about you that makes you stand out to the crowd. So they say, God, if I don't hire you, I'm really going to lose out. Or if I hire you, I'm going to get X, Y and Z. So you need to be giving it them from the start. But it's matching what you have to the job criteria and then giving them something else. So answer it straight away. Give me an example when you've worked in a team environment. In my past 3 previous roles, I've worked in a team environment. You're saying, I've got it. Whatever you want, I've got it. Have you got experience using X ICT package? I've got 10 years experience using this ITC package. I'm actually one of the designers of the ICT package, or whatever it is. You need to make them go, right, I want to listen to what you're going to say next. What a lot of people do is have a very generic opening answer, and people just get a little bit bored and it's a little bit waffly. And by the time you give your example, they're not even really listening to you, they're daydreaming about Colin the cat. The second part then is then giving that example, so a real life example. And what we'll do after this technique, I'm going to give you a strategy to make that example really strong and really powerful. But you need to back it up with a real life example. So an example of this is when I work with X client and I did this, or an example of this is when in a team environment I took the lead and I achieved this objective. So give them a real life example. And then finally we finish it off with either talking about how we can use that skill to help their organisation. So as you take me on, I can use my experience to help you overachieve your target. I've got a couple of strategies I'm going to share with you later in the interview that will tell you how we can together achieve the objectives set by your contractors. Or in all my roles, or just to summarise, in all my roles, I've always worked in a team and I generally take the leadership role. I'm very good at encouraging people as well to sort of join in, and that's one of my strengths. So you just add in like little tweaks all the time. You're saying, I've got that experience, here's an example of me doing it, and you take me on, here's a summary, or here's what I can do for your organisation. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah? So what are the 3 steps then? What's the step 1?
Answer.
Yeah, answer it straight away. Step 2? And then step 3?
How it can benefit their company.
How you can benefit them. Fantastic. So what I want you to do first, just want you to split into 2s. I think we have got even numbers. And just pick any sort of question, or just ask any generic question, not like a really tricky oddball question, but something like, tell me a little bit about yourself, why do you want to, not why do you want to work, something more along the lines of, do you have experience working in a team, or do you have experience working on your own initiative? I want you to ask each other a question and then respond using that 3-step process. But like you did 10-10-10, get it wrong, make mistakes. Because what some people do when we do this exercise is sort of go, oh, hold on, let me just think about this for a while. I don't know, like, Chris, what are the 3 steps again? And then it's still, just waffle out, get things waffling out, because when you start talking, the structure will start coming to it. Because we're going to go back to these techniques and structures all the time, they'll get embedded into your subconscious. So what I want you to do is ask a question, and then if you're the interviewee, just get talking, and don't worry if it goes off, it's a little bit waffly. I just want you to get talking, but try and think about answering it straight away. Yes, I have it. The second one, give an example, and then if you want to do the first step, you can do so. The way I can use this skill is by doing it in your company. And what we'll do, we'll write it on the board, the 3-step structure for you. So are you guys happy to just mix yourselves up? Yeah? So just sit next to someone, and then ask a question, and we'll go to the answers. Me and Jill will walk around as well. Fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody.
Does just Susie focus on it?
No, we talk about different companies.
When I do training, I love it like, also like you guys are like chatty, asking people. The last time I did this, last month, I did it in MMU actually. We did it to like a massive crowd of people. I think there was like 80 people in it. And it's like massive view, and everyone's like dead chat. I thought, God, this is going down dead well. So after like about, I thought, oh God, they're talking, I'll leave them to talk, because you know, you do it, you get more out of it than me just talking, to be honest. It's all about practice. So after about 15 minutes, I thought, oh, I'll go and mingle. So like walked up the alley, like feeling dead confident. No one's just talking about like holidays, or no one's talking about the time, you know, everyone was like up and down. Thought I was doing really well. But yeah, thanks for all participating in that. So what are your experiences? Any feedback on that? Did it work well? Did it not work well? What questions do you have?
It's quite that first, I think the middle one tends to be the easiest.
in
Well,
some
that's good.
senses.
That's good.
Because I do my prep, so I have examples for everything. Sometimes it's about that summary, because I think we both said, I have a lot of experience working in a team.
Yeah.
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 And so it's, you know, but you know, I do, I mean that's what I do every day, and then I went into my examples. So I always wonder whether I should explain that first bit a little bit. And we said, obviously if you don't know, if you haven't done your research in the company, there is no way you can answer question 3.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how your skills are
And that's like research is like massive. Like for me, the first 2 bits, and just the next strategy is using this in a better way after. But the first 2 bits are like key. If you answer it straight away, they want to listen to you. If you're saying you got the criteria they want, where loads of people will be like, yeah, teamwork. Yeah, you know, I like working in a team, but I do work on my own, and it's start answering a completely different question and talk about working on your own. And that's why if you state it straight away, it focuses your mind. And when people talk about over talking and waffling, not knowing where to stop, for me the structure just gives it a little thing to sit into. And in your mind, you know the 3 steps, it stops you going on. So answering it straight away is just like a must for me. The example, like I said, a lot of people, especially if you worked in your sector for a long time, can answer that really well. The next strategy will give you a better way to tweak that.
So is it enough to say, yes, I've worked in my current company for 10 years, I've worked in teams for much of that time. Is that enough?
Yeah.
And then go on to your example?
Yeah, definitely, because it's just to stop you from answering a different question, which loads of people do, or to stop you from having like a really waffly induction, which is the other problem a lot of people do. And they'll go, teamwork, yeah, well, in that together everyone achieve, like just start like saying like really rubbish stuff, where you want to be just like, yeah, I got that, here's me telling you I got that, here's an example to prove I got that. Because lots of people as well, if you do answer the other question, it just throws the whole interview, because in your head you'll have that voice saying, what are you talking about? You want to avoid that. The ending, the reason why I like step 3 is because it does end that interview answer. You know, you've got step 1, step 2, step 3, and it stops you waffling at the end of your example as well. You don't always need to use it. But if you've got like a massive unique selling point, so we're talking about an ICT system, and you're just like the best at it, by saying, look, if you'd hire me on, I can use this system to manipulate this data to get this information, or whatever it is for your sector. Or, if you are really good at overachieving targets, or you are really good at solving problems, if you state your unique selling point, look, I can take this and do it in your place. So hairdressers as an example. One of the strong things about hairdressers is, if you're really good, you tend to have like a bit of a following. So no matter where you go and work, you'll get often about 60% of people who get haircuts by you following you to that new salon. So you can have this thing where I go, oh yeah, I've got 10 years experience as a hairdresser. An example of this is, or some of the things I can do is styling, curling, or whatever techniques people use. And I got about 100 people who are sort of on my list, and I know that if I move to your salon, that at least 70% of them are going to come over with me because they're really loyal to me because I do such a good job. And they're thinking, I'm going to pay you 25 grand, but you're bringing over 70 people and we charge, I don't know what is it, £99 for a haircut?
That's an haircut.
That's what my girlfriend always asks me for, she like it. If you can say you can bring this over, they can see that they're going to make money off you straight away, so they might as well hire. Or if you're like getting interviewed for a company who's like not doing too well, and it's like they're trying to get a project manager in as a last minute thing to sort of turn around the company, and you're saying something along the lines of, in the previous 2 companies I've worked with, they've been on the brink of bankruptcy, and I've got a project management strategy I've embedded into both of these companies, turning around and making them into multi-million organisations. People are going to want to listen to you. They've got a problem and you give them the solution. That's your unique selling point. They're going to want to listen to you and they're going to want to hire you. And that's what you're getting across all the time. So even if you're working, like my background's all about supporting and caring people, and it's dead easy for people to get someone on a college course or to get someone a job or to help someone with an interview. But loads of people go into college and then drop out because it's not the right course for them, or get jobs and it's just not the right environment for them. So my unique selling point was, I always get people into stuff, but they stay into it. The retention is really strong, and that used to always get me job offers because I knew that these clients would go into something and stay in there, and that was like the aim of what we did. So it's thinking about what would really impress that employer. If you've got that skill, that technique, that knowledge, that experience, you need to be saying how you can use that in their organisation. And sometimes when you do the summary side instead of that future pace, it can be a little bit, not not like a very strong thing, but in your mind, it gives you an end to your answer. So just to summarise, yeah, I have worked in teams for the last 10 years. So you're saying, I've worked in teams for 10 years, here's an example, and then, yes, I have worked in teams for 10 years, and that just ends it and stops you over-talking. So I like that structure, but you don't always need to do that. And for some questions, it's pointless doing that. But I like it because it just gives you that structure, that flow in your mind. I said it, here's an example. Now, to shut myself up, I'll just summarise it. I can do this, or I've got knowledge of this, or like I said, I've got 10 years experience in this. It just ends it for you. And then count to 2 in your head. When you count to 2, they'll start asking you the next question. It's a really good technique, that, actually. Always count to 2 after sentences, or at the end of your answer, count to 3 or 4, because what loads of people do is go, and to summarise, yeah, I've got about 10 years experience working in the team, and they look at you, and then you go, and I can work on me, and you start answering like other questions or saying other things, because you get so panicky that the interviewer is not saying anything, but they need time to like write their notes and to score you, don't they? So you need to like count in your head. It stops you from then starting to talk again. Stops that over talking.
As well, as long as my hand's not all over the place.
Yeah. Water is a really, really good one. Yeah, definitely. Has anyone got any other questions on that? So, Kayula? Sorry.
Yeah.
Kayula. She was talking about body language. So she said when you sometimes answer interview questions, your mind might really focus on what you should do with your body, your facial expressions, and your arms, and all this sort of stuff. And they say that interviewers make an opinion about you in the first 10 seconds that you walk into that interview room. That's rubbish. It's in about 0.10 seconds. People make opinions like that. As soon as you walked in here and you see me looking really cool in my suit, you had a positive opinion about me, didn't you? I like that you're nodding. Thank you. You're the only person who's nodding. Everyone else was like, cool suit, what the hell is that?
I'm of the opinion, I don't care what kind of company it is, if you're going for an interview, you're suited and booted. And a lot of people disagree with me, and I said, but I don't think that, even if on a day-to-day basis everybody's in, jeans and t-shirts, at the end of the day, I think they immediately walk in. People, we like to think you don't judge, but people do. As soon as you walk in.
Yeah, and your mind as well. It's not just how you dress. It's like your stance, you walk, when you shut the hand, because that's when you generally meet them, isn't it? And your body language, everything. Like it's just so much stuff. It's filtered into that instant opinion. And you can change that, to be honest. It's not like that's my opinion. It's stuck forever. But one of the barriers is when you sort of focus on that side of the stuff in the interview, and you focus on stuff like your body language and your gestures, you can overthink that too much, that you don't do the structure for the answer and you start waffling a little bit more. When we do the confidence thing at the end, it's a real good technique to help you feel more confident and less anxious. And when you're less stressed, you'll naturally talk. Anyway, but people naturally talk with their hands. So if you can get to that state, you'll naturally be in control of your body language. Just a couple of little techniques, just because someone asked this when we was going around before. If you are fidgeting and you are a little bit nervous, like if you're at a desk, you can put your hands under your legs, which will stop you doing that. But when you use the structure as well, that will take away your nerves. You focus on step 1, step 2, step 3, and that's when your gestures will come out naturally as well. One of the things I used to do ages ago when I used to be nervous is when I sat down, I used to clasp my fingers like that under the table, because you have to like consciously undo your fingers to move it. So when you're nervous, you start doing all this like a little bit, like sort of hugging yourself to protect yourself. Whereas you sort of like that, you have to consciously undo it. You tend to do that when you're going to express yourself. So I would either sit on my hands a little bit if you can't see, or clasp them together. But if you use the confidence stuff that we talk about at the end, that will help you relax enough so you won't need to focus on that. Just a couple of things. If the interviewer's doing that, by the way, they're bored, they get really bored. So if you see him doing that, you just doing that, Neil? So you need to do something a little bit different, like pointing it out to him, or maybe or change your tone a little bit, but yeah, so you just get to listen to you a little bit more. Okay, so the final thing just on the answers is the story part, the example that you give. Now, for me, this is like the main bit. You answer straight away, blah, 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 I'm going to listen to you. What you need to be doing is getting the employers to be really invested into what you're saying, because the more they listen to you, the more they take on, the more they're going to want to hire you. And if you can get people emotionally involved in you as well, so they feel excited about what you're saying, excited about what you can bring to the company, they feel good about you, they again are going to want you to recruit you more. And this is why people who are really experienced but not passionate, what we talked about at the beginning, what Nikki brought up at the beginning actually, that's why people who are better qualified and better experienced in that position don't get offered a job because they don't use the tone, they don't use the stories, they don't use intrigue, they don't use the strategies to come across really well. And I know some people in here do a little bit of public speaking. It's the same sort of strategies we use in there, where we open up our interview answers or our presentation with like an opening, give like 3 points about ourselves and then summarise it. It's a very similar strategy to your interview question. When you're doing presentation, you are using your gestures, you are using your tonality to get people to listen to you, and you are looking at individual people. So if you've got 3 people interviewing you, you can use these same techniques to look at individuals, to get them to listen to what you're going to say. So there's 2 ways to open your example. So an example of this is you can create some intrigue, so they're going to want to listen to you. So that could be anything from like, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you the example. I'm going to give you, I'm going to tell you the time about when I've made like this multi-million-pound deal, or when I solved this big problem, or when I turned around the team, or when I got the company on the brink of bankruptcy to be a multi-million-pound company. If you have like an opening, I'm going to tell you this amazing thing. It's going to be really, really interesting. The example I used the other night was from my client work, when I said, he told me that he said, he was going to, I'm going to tell you the story about when I landed, I think it was a £1 million deal while saving the MD's life, because when he did this thing, like an MD had like, not a stroke, but like, I think it was an asthma attack or something, and because he needed first aid, he did it. But that opening line's like, what? It's like a pattern interrupt, isn't it? Everyone's getting a little bit bored, I said something a little bit different, and it's like, oh, what the hell was that? And then you give your explanation. But the mistake loads of people make is to use generic explanations, and they use the we instead of the I. So what they tend to do is say, the company did this or the company did that. So if you're using a second way to open it by giving a problem a go, so I'm going to tell you the way I solved this problem, I'm going to tell you the way, I'm going to give you the example when I achieved this goal. What you need to do is tell them what you did, because loads of people fall on trap of saying the company did this, the company did that, and the company had this outcome. You need to make it specific to what you added to that team. And it doesn't matter if you was part of a really, really small part of that team, and you know, some other people may have had a massive influence into that outcome. But if you state the problem or goal, and then tell them what you did, no matter what that is, and then give them the outcome, they will associate that what you did had a massive impact, either it did or if it didn't. And that's the secret to this. If you're saying something, you're trying to get across something that you've not got a lot of experience with, or you're part of a project but you didn't do the big thing, you answer it more generic, where if you've got a key skill, a key unique selling point, or you as a main part of it solving a problem, achieving something, or whatever your set to outcome is, you've got to give specifics, explain what you did. So the problem was that we had to solve this debt. What I did to solve this debt was first, I analyse the situation or the data or whatever it is. B, I put this plan into place and then give an explanation. And C, I motivated the team to take action. Or whatever it is suitable to your role. But think of the things that you particularly did, the ideas you presented that took on, the actions you took, the way you motivated teams, the way you analysed information or data, the way you mentored different people. No matter what it is, you need to be saying, I did this. And they'll think that because you're stating that if you didn't do that, the company won't get the outcome. And then finally, and no one ever does this actually, state the outcome. Everyone goes, oh yeah, an example of this is, there was a problem, I did A, B and C. And that's pretty strong anyway, but then if you give the outcome to what you did, so the outcome to this was like the company made more money, or the company solved this problem, or the company grew inside, or the team had a new set of skills that actually helped us achieve this new contract obligation. You want to state the positive outcome to what you've done, and that's so powerful. Problem, solution, and outcome. The problem or goal, the steps you took, and then the positive outcome. And that's the second 3-step process. And you can use that as an interview answer on its own, or you can use it in this one, answer it straight away, and then in the example, add those 3 steps into your 3-step interview answer. Does that make sense? So again, I want people to ask each other a question. So the question is, give me an example. And let's just use something how you, quite generic, how you achieved an outcome as part of a team. So just ask a team-based interview question. And I want people to either use something really intriguing, something to capture someone's attention, or state the problem you had, or the goal, the company, what you used to achieve. But the key thing I want the listener, the interviewer, to listen out for, Are they saying that they took action? Are they saying we, or are they saying I? So feed this back to them, because it's got to be, I did this, it's more powerful. And then the second thing I want you to look out for, are they saying what happened after they solved that problem, or after they achieved that goal? Because the outcome is the added value. It shows that if you take me on, I can do this in your company, and we'll get similar outcomes. So you can either use intrigue, or set the problem and goal, explain what you did as an individual, then state the positive outcome.